What if I told you you aren't using this correctly, which is why you probably think you don't like it and you won't can it. But in today's dinner, I'm going to show you how I use it, just as an example for the one dish I'm making today, but I'm going to show you how I use this as a flavor boost rather than an actual pepper ingredient, and I guarantee you it's going to change your mind on canning this in the future. Okay, so today's dinner is not only to show you how to use those canned peppers, but I want to show you how with proper meal planning, and sometimes this happens by accident and it's always a happy accident, but today is a leftover makeover, but it was pre-planned. So yesterday, I made a pork tenderloin. The tenderloins I get from Sam's Club come as a 2-pack. And I knew that was going to make too much for one night's dinner. And so I know I'm going to have leftovers, which means the next day we can certainly eat it just as we did yesterday and just have, you know, legitimate leftovers. But I like to do a makeover with my leftovers as often as possible. So we're still eating up what we have left, but we don't feel like we're eating the same thing twice. So we're going to do a little bit of a quick stir fry. I'm gonna get my pan turned on here because there's just a couple things I want to get heated through. Yesterday would have been the perfect time to do this, but I forgot. And so earlier today, I went ahead and made white rice. I cooked it in my rice cooker, but I put in plain water with a couple tablespoons of chicken bouillon. You can of course use chicken broth if you want. I don't typically like to use my home canned chicken broth for something like this. Beef bouillon works just fine. And then I threw in a bag of the mixed veggies. I also then put it in the fridge, so this way it would be cold. I don't know if you've ever tried to make a stir fry with hot just made rice, but it doesn't typically turn out the way that I would want it to. So I stuck it in the fridge and now it's perfect. I also yesterday have just a little bit of some caramelized, cabbage. Just a little bit. I'm gonna throw that in with the stir fry as well, and that'll get that used up. So what I will be doing here very soon is showing you how I like to do my menu planning. Menu planning is something that I see all across social media, within my inner circle even. Some people thrive on it, some people hate it. They feel like really restricted when having to menu plan. And there's a lot of reasons to that. And I'm hoping to show you a way that there's a lot of freedom, but also a little bit of scheduling. So you're not waiting last minute to figure out what to cook. You're not waiting last minute and then calling for a pizza, going through a drive-through, what have you. I want you home, cooking for your family, maybe with your family, and sitting around the table and kind of getting back to some of those basics. And a lot of times when I'm asking people why they don't eat at home, it boils down to time and not planning ahead, if you will. If you're a type B, C, or Z type of a person, I still have a system that I think could work for you. But back to today's dinner. I'm going to start with a little bit of toasted sesame oil. Just a little bit. This stuff goes a long way. It's probably about a tablespoon, because I want to make sure my meat gets heated through. You could warm it up first, but I want my tenderloin to stay tender. This should all come together rather quickly, but I am going to get this in first because this is, I think, what's going to have the longest warm through time. So I'm going to get that put in here. Okay, I'm going to get my cabbage put in. When I make my cabbage, I add a little bit of brown sugar, and that's gonna help to kind of sweeten things up a little bit. Typically when I make a stir fry, I will add a little bit of brown sugar in there to help kind of compensate the saltiness from the soy sauce, but I'm not gonna do that today because it's in my cabbage. Okay, this is where we're gonna add in our peppers that I canned. So as I said before, if you use your canned pepper properly and you go into it with expectations that you aren't biting into a pepper, rather getting the flavor, I think you might be happy with your choice to go ahead and can up some of those peppers. As this cooks down, you can see that it starts to really disintegrate. So you're not going to get a big bite of pepper within your meal. The flavor though, I can't express to you how wonderful having that in your dish is. When I'm eating my stir fry, and then there's a couple other things too, of course, that I add this. I could care less if I'm getting a bite of a pepper. Now that might be something that you want, and so then you'll have to actually add peppers. But for me, it's just the flavor that I'm looking for, and it colors your dish really beautifully as well. So I'm going to continue to let this heat through. My pan cooled down after adding everything, so I need it to get warmed back through, and this will continue to just cook down. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add some baby cut corn so that will get warmed through. And I'm gonna let this get really hot, and then I'm going to crack some eggs in here. And basically, it's gonna get all incorporated, and we'll be eating in a matter of 10 minutes. It's a very quick dinner. This is something you could do in between getting home, getting the kids ready for their homework, and before you then gotta run out to pick up so-and-so or drop so-and-so off. Whatever the case may be, this is a very quick dinner because a lot of that prep work was done the day before. Which the day before, of course, we made the meal on a day where we had time, we were home, and we didn't have to rush through anything. We used the day we had time to cook dinner to also prep for the next day's dinner. All right, I'm pushing everything here off to the side. Oh, and I'm just gonna get my eggs cracked in here. Oh gosh, I did not crack that one very well. We're gonna get that scrambled up. Okay, last step is to get the rice added to the pot. I'm going to get a little bit of soy sauce over the top here. Just like that, you can feed a crowd with everything that we just made. Now, if you have anybody who's like a protein lover like my husband, I did reserve a portion of that pork loin for him to have in addition to, because he's definitely going to want more meat, which is fine. But this can basically now warm through, and just like that, we have dinner. It was quick, it was simple, it was easy. I did most of the work yesterday, and I got to show you how I use my canned peppers. I will show you the next type of meal that I make when I go and pull a can from my pantry, just so you can see how versatile it is. But this is definitely an area that is one of my favorite to use the canned peppers. So I hope you found this very useful. Go ahead and like the video. Let me know down in the comments how you like to do your stir fry. What do you add to it? What do you do differently? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Reach out to somebody who you think this might be of value to. Go ahead and send them the video. I'll see you the next time I'm in my kitchen.